your teachers haven't taught you. We do workshops on this. So, and it's a tool. And I think history is littered with these kind of examples, right? Technology changes, new tools come in. We struggle for a little while. We go a little
Then
paranoid.
we adapt. Yeah.
And then we adapt. And then we teach our kids and our students. And
yeah, I love what you said in terms of the main thing we can teach the next generation is adaptability, right? That's what we can teach them. Resilience and adaptability so that they can manage through everything that comes at them. And I also like that you raised the points about soft skills, right? A lot of times now we forget about soft skills. And with the uprising of AI, that's the one thing that we as human can bring is soft skills, whether it is in interpersonal skills, in creativity, all these things, because I'm a creative person. In my work, I need to be creative. As much as ChatGPT is my best friend, it just cannot give me the creative part of it. That still needs to be me. And I kind of love that because that means that I can't be replaced yet. So, it's always good to have that element. But now I'll tell you something. A lot of my friends, even me, right? So I come from like a highly educated background in science, but now I left all of that behind to do something else. A lot of my friends have trained as lawyers, as doctors, as engineers, which are the classic jobs in the past, who are now moving away from the traditional jobs and going into new things. And there's this new kind of like rising assumption that you don't need a degree to do anything. And we always hear the stories of all the university dropouts who became super successful. What do you have to say about this? How much do you agree or disagree?
Well, as far as the dropouts are concerned, I think we only hear about the celebrated cases.
Which are like 0.01%.
Exactly. 0.0001% probably. We don't hear about the majority of dropouts who weren't able to do anything. I think a degree is still valuable. The very simple reason that degrees are structured, broad frameworks for learning. I think universities are good and academics are good at visualizing the future, planning what students need to have, and ensuring that 16 to, let's say, 25-year-olds are able to learn a large number of things in a very structured fashion with certain outcomes that are measurable. Because I think this is what parents and society want. That how do I know that my kid really learned? Here you go. I think after 25, the value is more in terms of short courses, stackables, what they call micro-credentials, go for 6-day workshops, et cetera, where you constantly keep, upskilling, reskilling, etc. But the basic foundation of a degree, I think, cannot be, I can't emphasize enough why it's important. Because it's not just about the learning of content. Colleges and universities are also great places for figuring out who you are, for making friends, for having fights and making up again, for working in teams sometimes with people you love and sometimes people who you actually don't even know, but the class pushes you to work together. A variety of people from diverse backgrounds, having multiple perspectives, teachers with varied perspectives. The concept of a little bit of discipline, which every professional organization wants. And if you were to set up your own, definitely you would want it. So I think all of those things added on to the content and added on to the opportunities that you have to experiment and make mistakes is huge. Take away this, and then what you have is smaller interventions and smaller engagements, but comprehensively at that age where you're building a foundation for your future. What do you have? How do I make sure? I'm petrified when people talk about online. I'm petrified of generations of people sitting alone in their bedroom
Yeah.
in front of their laptops and learning a lot, but not learning all those skills that we just talked about as being important to navigate in the future. So if you have, and of course this is the difficult part, right? If you have access to a formal education program, then you must avail of it. And I think it's the government's job and organizations like ours and universities like ours to ensure that we widen that access as much as possible, because so many students or so many kids and young adults in that age group of, let's say, 16 to 25 don't have access for a variety of reasons. So I think that's a challenge for sure. But if you do, I think everyone should grab it. And the good thing is that now there are options available, right? There are community colleges, there are part-time programs, there are lots of options that are available. And its value is, I think its value cannot be replaced. I don't see a future where we do away with this and not pay the price. In some form or the other, it is going to continue. You know?
Yeah, and I guess institutions can evolve, right? We can start teaching entrepreneurship. We can start teaching
We've
all the
already
things.
started, right?
Most universities
So many universities offer hybrid programs.
Yeah.
So many universities have a 20% online component. So many universities are doing so many entrepreneurship, innovation, and that's great. Because I think universities also are very conscious, right? That society have placed so much responsibility on them. You know, I mean, the number of parents. So for the last so many years, I have been teaching 18 to 24-year-olds primarily.
Okay.
The number of parents who've come up and said, "You'll take care of this, right? We struggled with this. We weren't able to do this, but will you take care of it?" And I look at them and said, we'll try together.
Okay.
Correct? But it's not like we have a magic wand. But the reality is that parents, the media, society, government, every single group you can think of is looking at universities and saying, you have this captive group, make your magic happen, and transform them into well-adjusted, happy individuals who also can be productive. Now that's the goal. And we try very hard. But for that personal connect, that social connect, that ability to sit down in front of you and say, "You didn't get it, let's try it again."
Right.
Okay. No need, in school we did this, right? Don't pull the pigtail. Now it's like you don't have to cancel this person out of your life because of this.
We can have conversations.
Exactly. Have conversations, resolve conflict. How will that happen without a formal space?
Right. I'll tell you, even for me, when we were teaching during COVID and right after COVID, and then when I saw the students who spent, let's say, first, second year of university at home, then they came in the third year, the social skills are not there.
Absolutely.
They all sit in the class. I'm not even teaching yet, but they don't speak to each other.
Yeah.
And they're all friends on Instagram. They all know each other, but there's no interaction in person. And I realized the importance of those little interaction in the corridor, in the hallway, on a Teams is different.
Yeah.
And even for me, like the 8 years I was in university were the best years of my life. I mean, I was there for as long as I could. And I found myself, and I really liked how you said that, because I didn't know who I was before I went to university. You just do whatever you're told to do. And then you discover sides of your personality, things that you want to do, the type of people you want to. I remember I started university with a group of like 40 people who were my friends. Right. And then by the end of it, you have 2 friends.
Yeah. But they're 2 really good friends.
Yeah. And now they're my friends for life. They're still friends till today. And it's just this growth. You need to have it in an environment with your peers.
Yeah.
Right. And you don't have that. When you go to work, it's very different.
Absolutely.
So I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But now I have a question. It just came to mind. In the 40 years that you've been educating, what has been like one of your top special moments that you still carry with you?
So there have been a couple.
Okay.
I mean, there have been many. I'm
sure there are
I'm
many.
trying to very rapidly
Go through the memory file.
cull a few. So I used to teach marketing.
Okay.
And I remember at the Symbiosis College in Pune, where I was teaching, I had many, many years ago designed a way of assessing students based on projects that they were supposed to do. So we taught certain things, and then they had to create imaginary hypothetical products and the entire marketing mix and stuff like that. And then they were really working at it. So I said, you know what? Let's put up an exhibition. And then that became larger than life. And so I said, okay, let's invite people to come and see it. And then from an exhibition with posters, it became, let's put up stalls. Okay. And then the word spread, and we had people from organizations actually come in. So, for example, at that point in time, Idea Cellular was very popular, and one of the students had come up with a new SIM card and stuff. And I remember standing there with these corporate managers, and somehow the word spread, and we had really important people saying, I could actually do this. Can you come and make this presentation to my team back in the office? And I stood there and I looked at the students, and I fell in love all over again. And I looked at them and I said, wow, the creativity and the innovation amongst these young adults, it makes me happy every time. When I hear people say today's generation, I'm like, who are you talking about? You don't even know them. They are the brightest, most energetic. And if they're not energetic in your class, there is something wrong with you.
You might be the problem.
You are obviously not creating a space.
Yeah.
So whether it is their creativity in this, whether it is the kind of reflective essays, all my moments have to do with either students surprising themselves. But I think one of the biggest things was at the School for Liberal Arts, a parent called me up. And a parent said, I did not know that my child had this in